we used to buy fuel for 87 naira per litre. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, the price just jumped up about 100% increase to 145. Yeah? Now, there's nothing wrong for the government to put in stimulus in the economy to build the economy. But you have to look at the implication as well. Who pays? Who suffers this thing? They're business owners, micro businesses.
Do you think the Nigeria's tax environment regime is high, or because there are multiple taxes? Is it that the rate for corporate income tax, corporate tax is high at the current percentage, or there are other taxes that are multiple, or both?
Both and more, if I put it that way. Now, the multiple taxes, you have, let's look at the VAT, for example, value-added tax. In other clime, VAT is actually a measure for businesses to assist the government, okay, to collect those funds on behalf of the government. VAT, on your services and goods you supply or produce, or you sell, okay? Now, when you collect this money, it goes to the government. But the point is this: if I'm in a business, I'm paying double VAT. Okay. Now, every single penny, naira or kobo that I'm spending here, they are already VAT on this money. Okay. Now, when I pay VAT on my petrol, or my diesel, or my electronics, my furniture, my stationery, my business running, right? Now, who actually pays me back those VAT? In order to claim what actually happened there is, it's quite very simple. Now, if at the end of your financial year, or every 3 months, or whichever way you want to do it, okay, the VAT that you spend, if I spend VAT for about 6 months, and the amount's about, say, 100,000 naira on VAT that I spent, that I could actually calculate, I've spent on everything that I've used to build my business. And in providing my service to my clients, I've actually been able to retrieve back that I charge on my services, let's say about 200,000 naira. Ideally, I should deduct the VAT that I've spent on what I used to run my business of the 100,000 minus the 200,000 I collected from the government and pay back that 100,000 to the government. That is how it's been done. But it doesn't happen here. That's what I'm trying to say. Make the tax regime attractive. If you want people to pay taxes, you have to put a lot of measures in place. Now, going back to your question, it's unlawful, it's illegal not to pay tax. But what are the government doing for people to make sure it's attractive for them to pay their taxes?
For businesses? For businesses. Because this is a business conversation.
Yeah.
In terms of the environment, therefore, where would you want to see things happen? You're talking more about the environment.
Yeah.
You seem to be more particular about the environment rather than the tax rate.
Yeah. The tax rate has been fixed. Obviously, it shouldn't be. We have what's it called? We have
a gradual
process whereby you determine what taxes should be paid and when it should be paid. Okay. There's nothing wrong. That's been determined by the government. But if the environment is not suitable for people to pay those taxes, you kill all your businesses. Now, for example, I want to start my business. In other clime, there is grants, there are aids that they give to businesses. They'll tell you there are tax holidays. They'll tell you for the first 3 years when you run your business, okay, don't pay tax. They're actually encouraging you to actually come to business, right? For 3 years, don't pay tax. After the 3rd year, you begin to pay your taxes, okay? Now,
didn't you try that? Haven't you tried that a little bit in the last few years? Tax holiday for a few companies, and
I look at that as waivers. They give some companies the preference to do
tax waivers.
Yeah, waivers. They give someone to do that, but it's not universal. It should be universal. Now, yeah, it should be universal. Now, another thing is, now, if I run my business for this year and I make profits, I pay my taxes. If I run my business next year and I make losses, right, I carry over the loss to the next year. So if my losses, the following year, if I make profit, then I deduct my deficit this year from the upper one, from the next one. Then that's when you could tax my business. So if I'm making 1 million naira profit this year, I pay my taxes. But if I make about 500,000 deficit this year and I make 1 million naira next year, before you can tax my profits for next year, I deduct my deficit first before the balance is what you tax. You see, it has to be attractive. You don't just